Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca and thank you for joining me for this gentle yoga practice for the shoulders with love. So today we'll be focusing a lot on the shoulders and also bringing a little length to the hamstrings. I'll be using a blanket and a strap for this practice, so please take a moment, gather what you need, and I'll see you on the mat.
I am going to start out today in hero's pose. So sitting back on the heels. And if you like to pad your mat a little extra, you can bring in a blanket here. I think I will. If hero's pose doesn't work for you, feel free to just come into Sukhasana. We'll just begin here just by closing our eyes and taking a few deep breaths together. So start first by exhaling as much of the air out of your lungs as you can. And then allow yourself to take a deep inhale all the way down into the bottom of your belly. When you come to the top, pause for just a moment and then exhale through an open mouth. I'll do this twice more together. Inhaling to the top. Hold. And then exhale. Inhale all the way to the top. Pause here, and this time as you're exhaling, really focus on letting your shoulders relax. Good. Now let your breathing return to normal. Just bring your focus into your internal weather pattern. What's happening inside today? Maybe there's a feeling of sleepiness or warmth. Perhaps there's a little anxiety or sadness or irritation. Maybe there's some excitement at something that's coming up in a different part of your day. Imagine yourself holding those feelings in your two outstretched hands, just holding them gently, perhaps envisioning them as different colored marbles or gems, appreciating each for its own unique contribution, allowing yourself to suspend judgment about what feelings should or should not be here. And now in your mind's eye, just allow yourself to close your close your hands over your marbles or your gems. And then imagine yourself bringing them up to your heart and just allowing them to absorb back into your heart. Now that you've arrived here in presence with yourself, you can allow your eyelids to just flutter open. And let's begin by inhaling the arms up overhead, really reaching out through the fingertips. And then we'll exhale, allowing the arms to sweep down. Let's do this once more, inhaling the arms up overhead, allowing the hands to meet overhead this time, and exhaling, hands come down to heart center. We're going to take one hand to each opposite hip now. So crossing the hands across the body here. And as you inhale, lift the arms out to the sides like you're taking off a shirt. And then allow the fingers to rain down. Once again, crossing the arms, inhaling, arms come up overhead, reaching the fingertips out. Exhale, hands rain down. It's a wonderful movement for range of motion in the shoulders. So inhale the arms up overhead once more. And exhale, fingers rain down. And one last time here, crossing the arms at the bottom, inhaling up overhead. And exhale to release. If you're sitting up on your knees here, you might shift into an easy seat, into Sukhasana. You might like to sit up on the edge of a blanket or a block here. So I'm going to fold my blanket in half, just to give yourself a little extra space. And we're going to take the fingertips now and bring them to the shoulders. So making a little, cup over your shoulders with your fingertips. And now we're going to take those elbows and draw them up towards the ceiling. So allow your fingertips to rotate however they need to and feel like this nice straight line from the side body up through the elbows. And in this position now, really draw that lower belly up and in and engage the pelvic floor muscle, drawing that pelvic floor up from your mat or blanket. Nice big deep breath here, inhaling, chin up slightly. And then as you exhale, allow yourself to draw your elbows together in front of the face, allowing the elbows to just kiss as they rotate down. Inhale, rotating the shoulders back up, elbows come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, elbows come to touch, drawing a line down the middle of the body, and inhaling, elbows come back up to the ceiling. Exhale one last time, bringing those elbows together. And then inhale, coming back up to the top. And then from here, this time we're going to take it in the other direction. So allow the elbows to rotate back now, really opening through the chest. And as you come forward, touching the elbows together, allow the upper back to round, pausing for just a moment here at the bottom, feeling that stretch in the upper back. And then inhaling, drawing that line up through the center of the body with the elbows all the way to the top. And exhale, opening the elbows. And one last time here, making that rounded back at the bottom, pausing here, feeling that stretch in the upper back. And then inhale, elbows come up to the ceiling, parting at the top, opening through the chest. And then release. Allow the hands to come back down here and then find any movement here that feels good in the shoulders and upper back. So maybe you like to rotate the shoulders here one at a time as I am. Or perhaps what works for you is to inhale the shoulders up to the ears and down the back, or some other motion. So just find a little freestyle here, a little shoulder freestyle. And now bring that to a close. I'm going to take the fingertips out to the mat next to us here. And inhale here to grow nice and tall, pulling that belly button in again, pulling that pelvic floor muscle up. And from here, we're just going to allow ourselves to drop the head over to one side on the exhale. Could be one side, any side, doesn't matter which one. And just relaxing here, allowing the opposite shoulder and elbow to be heavy, finding that stretch in the side of the neck, allowing gravity to do that work, but bringing your attention back to the belly and the pelvic floor, keeping that engaged. Allow the legs to be relaxed and the feet to be relaxed. We're only pulling in the pelvic floor and the belly. And now inhale the head back to center. And exhale, dropping the head in the opposite direction. And making that opposite shoulder and elbow heavy. Pulling in that belly button, pulling that pelvic floor up. And just letting the head go here. So your focus, your attention is on relaxed and heavy legs, heavy elbows, and engaged belly and pelvic floor. Inhale to bring the head up. And this time, as you're exhaling, just look out over one shoulder. Maybe imagining yourself opening the front of the neck here, like a warm light might shine on it. Inhaling back to center. And exhale, looking in the other direction, opening that front of the neck. Inhale back to center. We're going to exhale here, dropping the ear over to that first shoulder as you did before. And then we're going to begin to allow the fingertips of the other hand to float up from the mat and reach out on the opposite side. And if you get quite a bit of sensation here, feel free to lower those fingertips down to the mat. Or if you'd like to invite in a little more, pull those fingertips back towards the body. And if you'd like to, you can even bring that other hand up and reach it up and over the ear here. Not really pushing or pulling anywhere, but just changing the way the weight is distributed. And now allow that to release. Fingertips come back down to the mat. And we'll take the head over to the other side. Reaching out through those fingertips, allowing it to float up from the floor. Maybe pulling back towards the face. And maybe taking that other arm up and over the ear. And now allow that to release. Now inhaling both arms up overhead. I'm going to allow the hands to meet overhead, really reaching up through the fingertips here, pulling that belly button in, pulling in that pelvic floor. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, drop to one side, coming into a twist. Nice and tall here. Little love for the spine. Moving into the back a bit. And then inhaling the arms up overhead, reaching out through those fingertips, big deep breath. Exhale, twisting in the other direction. So many of these are such functional movements that we actually need our shoulders to go through on a daily basis, whether we're dressing or undressing or driving a car and needing to turn and look behind us. Yoga is wonderful for that. It's functional movements. Inhaling, arms come up overhead. And this time, as you're exhaling, I want you to interlace your fingers and bring them to the back of your head, like you're cupping the back of your head. And if you like to give yourself a little bit of a neck massage while you're here, you can do that. Just find any places of tension, any little trigger points. You just give them some love. And then we're going to inhale to spread the elbows back away from each other. The chin will naturally move up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, rounding the back, allowing the elbows to come forward. I'm just feeling this nice big stretch down the back of the neck and into the upper back. Inhale to grow tall, once again, spreading the elbows back from each other. Exhale, rounding, elbows come together, pulling that belly button in towards the spine, protecting that mid back, that low back as we stretch the upper back. Inhale to open here like a great butterfly. Exhale, elbows come together. Inhale to open back to the top. And exhale, fingers come down. Taking the hands to the knees now. We're going to come through some seated cat-cow. So inhale as you open the chest here. And then exhale as you drop back, chin comes to chest, and really find something delicious here. So you might just move a little from side to side, figuring out that place in the back that your body just really loves to stretch. Coming back to center now, we'll inhale, opening the chest, moving the chin up towards the ceiling, being cautious of those little bones in the back of the neck. Exhale, sink back, navel to spine, pelvic floor pulling in, pulling against the knees, stretching that back. Inhaling to come forward. Now, we're going to allow ourselves to come all the way forward, or as much as you can. And then as you're exhaling, move into one side and begin to make this circle with your shoulders towards the back. So inhaling to come forward, exhale, moving back. So this is like taking your cat-cow in a circle, or I've heard some people call it like drunken cat-cow, or Sufi rolls, lots of different names. If you're going in one direction, on your next go round, you might choose the other direction. Move here with your breath. And then allow that to come back to stillness in the center. And now from here, we're going to turn the head 45 degrees in one direction. And just drop the chin to the chest. We'll bring the hand to the back of the head and gently press the head into the hand and the hand into the head. So now bringing this neck stretch into the upper back as well. And if you like, you can extend the fingers out to the side, or you can keep them resting on the knee, whatever brings in the sensation that you're looking for. Allow that shoulder to be nice and heavy. Many tension headaches come from tension in the upper trapezius muscle. This is a good stretch to get into that muscle. Allow that to release now, inhaling back to center. And then exhale as you look in the other direction, 45 degrees, dropping the chin to the chest, bringing the hand to the back of the head. Pressing the head into the hand into the head, but being gentle here. Breathe into that upper back. Just imagine the fibers of the muscles lengthening and relaxing. And then allow yourself to release, bringing the head back to center. And from here, we'll just open the arms, open nice and wide. And then when you're ready, exhale, reaching the hands back for the shoulder blades. And maybe just giving yourself a little hug here. Giving the shoulders lots of love here. So just sending the shoulders and the upper back some tenderness. And then we'll inhale the arms open wide once again. And exhale, this time bringing the opposite elbow, opposite arm on top, reaching back for those shoulder blades. Inhaling, arms come open wide. And exhale, allow those fingers to come down. So we can shift our legs out to one side now. And if you've got a blanket on your mat, you can move that out of the way. And we'll come here into a tabletop. Find your way here into your tabletop. Nice strong base, pressing into the tops of the feet, pulling the front body into the back body. The support of the belly is so important for the health of the spine and the back. And from here, we're going to ground down into the left hand as we allow the right arm to open out to the side. And if you like, you can extend out through those right toes, opening this twist just a bit more and lengthening out through the right calf muscle as well. So feeling some stretch, some sensation there. And from here, we're going to allow this right arm to sweep down. The right knee can come down and meet the mat as well. We're going to thread that right arm underneath the left, coming into our thread the needle here. Lots of options for the supporting arm. Here you can keep that left hand in front of the face, extend it out long, bring it around behind for a bind if you like. Find your breath. And now allow that left hand to come back down in front of the face. Pressing into the left hand, inhaling to come up, coming back through our tabletop. And now we'll ground down into the right hand, inhaling the left arm open for a tabletop twist. And if you like to extend that left leg, pressing out through the heel, bringing in that little calf stretch, opening this twist up just a little more, you can do that. Now bringing the left knee down to the mat, we'll allow the left arm to thread underneath the coming down to rest on the left shoulder and the left ear. And then choosing your variation with your supporting hand. And now allow that to release, bringing that right hand back down in front of the face and coming back into your tabletop. Again, tuning into what that belly button is doing, pulling it up and in, pulling that pelvic floor muscle up and in, and making the spine nice and straight here, really feeling this line that extends from the crown of the head right out through the tailbone. Now, either turning the toes under here or really pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. Feel how that allows the belly muscles to engage. From this place of firm connection, we're going to allow the right leg to extend out, toes on the mat, pressing out through the calf muscle here once again. And then once you've found this sort of connection here, we'll allow the left arm to float up from the mat, focusing on using that muscle of the shoulder and the back to draw the shoulder blade back towards the spine as we reach out long through the fingertips. And then when you're ready, allow that right heel to float up from the floor, keeping the right hip moving down towards the floor. Maybe you rotate the arch of the foot up towards the ceiling just a little, finding the breath. And then allow the limbs to come back down to the floor. And we'll find that nice firm tabletop again, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. Extending through the left leg this time, pressing out through the heel, feeling that stretch on the calf. Grounding down to the left hand, extending the right arm out, pulling that shoulder blade back towards the spine, engaging the back of the shoulder. And then when you're ready, floating the left heel up from the floor. Left hip is still sinking down. 3 deep breaths. And then when you're ready, allowing the arm and the knee to sink back down to the mat. We'll take the hands a couple of handprints in front here, and then just allow the hips to sink down any amount, just coming into a little bit of a back bend here, kind of cobra, upward facing dog. And then allow that to release all the way down to the floor. So we're going to find a little stretch in the front of the shoulder now. So you can take that left arm out to the side and allow it to rest palm down on the floor. We're going to turn the head to the right, allowing the left ear to come in contact with the floor, and then use the right arm to roll over onto the left side. You can stack your legs here. You can bend the top leg, bringing it around in front or behind. And just stretching through the front of the shoulder here. And then if you have that upper knee bent, just allowing it to stack back on top of the lower leg as you roll gently back onto the belly. And we'll switch arms here, reaching that right arm out to the side, using the left arm to gently roll us over to the side. And then keeping those knees stacked, or maybe bringing that leg around behind. Maybe you have one shoulder tighter than the other, or just one that needs a little bit more gentleness. So Where you roll or how you stack your legs may be different on either side. And then allow yourself to roll back over to the belly. Bringing both hands next to the chest here. We'll come back up into a tabletop. And take the hands, just a couple of handprints out in front. Roll those toes back under. And we'll come into a down dog. Nice and gentle here, keeping the knees nice and bent. Focusing more on the straight line of the spine from the top of the head out through the tailbone, rather than on how straight the knees are or how close the heels are to the mat. And you might take your dog for a walk here, bending into one knee as you straighten the other. And then we'll all inhale up to the toes together, bending the knees deeply, rotating the tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, allowing the heels to sink down. Shifting the gaze forward, bend into the knees here, and walk the feet up to meet the hands, coming into forward fold. Knees nice and bent here. Maybe even bending the knees enough that the belly can rest on the thighs here. And then from there, with the belly resting on the thighs, work on beginning to extend the legs, focusing on the sensation more than the shape. And let's begin here to move with the breath. So we'll inhale to allow the hips to sink down and exhale to lengthen. Inhale to release. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, release. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, release. And last time, exhale, lengthen. And then from here, you can either bring the hands over the bent knees or bring them to the waistline. And then with a nice straight back, inhale all the way up to stand. Allow your hands to sweep up overhead as you inhale, and exhale, bringing those hands down to heart center. Take a moment here to rest and reflect and make any adjustments that you need. And then we'll inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale as we come down into forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, release. We're going to take the right foot now and step it back at a little bit of an angle, setting up for warrior one. So grounding down into the feet now, we'll allow the arms to sweep up overhead, coming up into our warrior one. The pinky fingers rotating towards each other, hips square towards the short side of the mat. Inhaling here, reaching those fingertips up tall. Exhale, we're going to allow the hands to come around behind, interlacing the fingers at the base of the spine and pressing down and away, opening up again through the front of those shoulders. And you can keep your warrior here, or if you like, you can allow the chest to sink forward, bringing yourself into humble warrior, maybe allowing those fingers, knuckles to rise up over the shoulders, continuing to press the knuckles up towards the ceiling if you choose this variation of the pose. And then allowing those knuckles to sink back towards the base of the spine, pressing into the feet here, inhaling to come up. You can bring the hands to the waistline or to heart center, step the back foot to the front. And we'll do this again on the other side. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, releasing into the fold, stepping the left foot back at a bit of an angle. And then inhaling, arms come up overhead. Bringing the knee over the ankle, rotating the pinky fingers towards each other. Nice big inhale here, grow tall. Exhale, fingers sweep around behind, this time interlacing in the way that feels unusual or odd. Pressing the knuckles down and away. Big deep breath. And then if you choose, exhale, chest coming forward, humble warrior. And now allowing the knuckles to release back down to the base of the spine. Pressing into both feet, inhaling to come up. You can release the hands here, bringing them to heart center or to the waistline. And then inhale the back foot to the front. And maybe find some wrist circles here or any natural movement that feels good. And then we'll inhale the arms up overhead and exhale, coming down into forward fold. Bringing a little focus to the lower body now. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale, releasing into that fold. Planting both hands now, we'll step back with the left leg. Exhaling as we sink that left hip down, opening the chest forward. And then planting those hands again, we'll take the back or the front foot to the back and exhale into downward facing dog. A few deep breaths here. And grounding down into the right foot, we'll allow the left heel to float up from the floor. Exhaling as we bring the left foot in between the hands and sinking down through the right hip. Gaze comes forward. Stacking that knee over the ankle. And then drawing the right foot to the front. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. Hands come to meet overhead. And exhaling all the way down through heart center. Going all the way back down into our forward fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Nice straight spine. Imagining yourself extending forward out of the pelvis here and lowering over the legs into your forward fold. We'll step back with the right leg this time. Exhale, sinking that right hip down, taking the gaze forward. And then planting both hands, stepping the left foot to the back and exhaling into downward facing dog. Taking a few deep breaths here. Focusing on that nice long straight spine, pressing away from the mat, making that little cup underneath the palm by pulling the fingertips towards each other. And then grounding down through the left heel, inhaling the right heel up from the floor. Exhale, right foot comes through center. And then sinking down through that left hip. Inhaling left foot to the front. Exhale, release, forward fold. And then inhale all the way up to stand with a flat back. Hands coming to heart center. And now once more, inhaling, arms come up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthening down over the legs. Inhale up halfway, nice straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. Planting both hands here, stepping back with both feet. And if you feel like coming through a vinyasa here today, you can, or you can just exhale straight back, downward facing dog. Now we'll allow the knees to find the mat. They can come out wide or stay close as you choose. Big toes come together if you choose a wide leg shape here, and we'll just sink the hips back, coming into child's pose. Walking the fingertips out just a bit here. We're going to allow the elbows to press into the floor as we bring the hands over the back of the head in prayer position. And once you've found this shape, if you like to walk the elbows out just a little more, bringing that stretch into the underside of the shoulder, the armpit area. And if the shape doesn't work for you, you can choose any variation of child's pose that you like. Just taking a moment here to allow the shape and gravity to stretch the hips, the back, the underside of the arm. And then allowing the palms to release back down to the floor. We'll inhale to come up, shifting the feet to one side and coming back to sit at the back of the mat in Dandasana. So while I'm fixing my hair, you can extend your legs out long here, coming into staff pose or Dandasana. Peeling the toes back towards the face. If you like to sit up on the edge of a blanket or a block here, you can do that. And then let's bring some length into the back of the legs here. If you have your strap handy, you can bring that in. And if you don't have a strap, that's okay too. So if you do have that strap, you can bring it around the balls of the feet here. And with one side of the strap in each hand, we'll roll the shoulders onto the back. If you don't have a strap today, just allow yourself to inhale the arms up overhead. And then we'll all exhale forward over the legs, lowering from the center of the chest, imagining bringing that center of the chest in between the two big toes here. I've been doing a lot more running and walking outside lately, so my hamstrings are super tight. And we need to remember that our muscles stretch better when we're a little forgiving with them. So it might be helpful to bring a little bend into the knees. And allow yourself to release slightly on your inhale. Exhale, deepen. Release and inhale. And exhale, deepen. And now allow yourself to inhale all the way back up. Let's draw that right knee into the chest. Take a moment here to sit up nice and tall, bringing those left toes back towards the face. And then let's allow that right leg to rotate out to the side, bringing the right sole of the foot to the inside of the left thigh. And here you can use your strap or not as you wish. Taking that strap around the ball of the foot or inhaling the arms up overhead and turning the belly button towards the left knee slightly as we grow nice and tall with the inhale, and then exhale out long over the left leg. Allow yourself to find the breath. Bring the focus back to the breath. And then we'll all inhale to come up. We're going to bring that right knee back into the chest once again. And then if you like, you can keep the right sole of the foot on the inside of the thigh here, or you can step that right leg over the left. Couple of choices here. If you want to inhale that left arm open and bring it around the right leg, that's one option. Option two is to inhale the left arm up overhead and then exhale, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, allowing the right arm to swim around behind and coming into this Marichyasana. Either way you choose, spine is nice and straight. Either bringing the tented fingertips to the floor or bringing the hand close to the back of the spine. And now allow that to release, picking up that bent leg, giving it a little love. And then extending that right leg out long next to the left. We'll draw the left knee into the chest. And then allow the left leg to come out to the side. Left sole of the foot finds the inside of the right thigh. Bringing that strap around the ball of the right foot, if you have it. Turning the belly button towards the right knee. Exhale, extending out long over the right leg. Remembering you can always bend the knees slightly. Inhale to release, exhale to deepen. Extending from the center of the chest over the leg. And then allow yourself to inhale up from this shape, bringing that left knee back into the chest and choosing if you'd like to keep the left foot on the inside of the thigh or step it over to the other side. And then either inhaling that arm open wide and around the right knee or inhaling the right arm up overhead, continuing to keep those right toes pulling back towards the face as you bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, swimming those left fingers around behind. And allow that to release back to center. We'll pick up that left leg, give it a little rock and roll, a little love. And then extend the left leg out next to the right. We'll move the strap out of the way if you have that. And we'll just shift on down to the back. Bringing the knees into the chest here. Maybe rolling a little from side to side. And then we'll hug the left knee into the chest as we inhale the right heel up towards the ceiling, pulling those right toes back towards the face, feeling that stretch all the way down the back of the right leg. And then exhale, slowly bringing the right heel down to the mat. Taking the right hand to the outside of the left knee now, we'll allow the left arm to come out to the side and twist the left leg across the body. And if you can allow that left knee to find the floor, that's great. If not, you can bring a block underneath it or just allow it to hover here. Taking the gaze over the left shoulder. Bringing the left knee back into the chest now. We'll allow the right knee to come into the chest as well. Maybe roll a little from side to side and then pulling that right knee into the chest, extend the left heel up towards the ceiling, pulling those left toes back towards the face, feeling that extension in the back of the left leg. And then exhale, slowly bringing that left heel down to the floor. Taking the left hand now to the outside of the right knee, arm opens wide, and then allowing that right leg to cross the body. Taking the gaze over the right shoulder if you like. And then right knee comes back into the chest, finding any last movements here that you like. Maybe rotating the knees one way and then the other. Maybe you like to take a happy baby. Just finding any last movements here. And then we'll all draw the knees back into the chest. And exhale, extending the legs out long, snuggling the shoulder blades up underneath the back, and just allowing ourselves to rest here. Perhaps taking the awareness and slowly bringing it up through the body, starting with the toes. Feeling that little tingle of aliveness in the toes and the soles of the feet. This is what the feet feel like after our practice today. Slowly allowing that awareness to rise up through the lower legs. Just allowing anything you find to just be here. This is what the legs feel like after your practice today. Continuing up through the knees and the upper legs. This is what the thighs feel like after practice today. And continuing up through the body now. Coming into the pelvis and the belly. And continuing through the body parts on your own. Just noticing as you come to each one what it feels like. And accepting that this is what that part feels like after your practice today. Let go of your journey through the body now. Take a nice deep breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, you can roll to one side and come back to seated. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze lowered if you like. We'll end today's practice with a short quote by Eleonora Duse. She says, "If the sight of the blue skies fills you with joy, if a blade of grass springing up in the fields has power to move you, if the simple things in nature have a message you understand, rejoice, for your soul is alive." May you feel alive in your soul today. Thank you for joining me for this practice, and I hope your yoga follows you off the mat.